Guys, welcome back to the channel. You've seen us a lot lately getting some of these bigger trees down and stacked on the ground. We have made an absolutely huge mess with how many we have down right now, and we've really gotten to the point where we have no option but to go ahead and get some of this stuff to the sawmill. So that's what we're doing today. I've already gone up, I've talked to the sawmill. They're willing to take this lumber. We probably won't make a lot of money. Honestly, we'll probably lose money by taking this all the way out to the sawmill. It's about a 30-minute drive one direction, but more importantly, we got to get this stuff out of here. We're out of room. We have a huge log deck. We have more logs that are cut, needing to get loaded. So maybe we can make a little bit of money. We're probably gonna lose money overall by the time we pay for gas and everything else to get out there, but it's gonna be a quick way to free up some space out here, and for tax purposes it's really good for us to show a little bit of income coming off of this, as it is technically a farm. Stay tuned, and I'm going to talk all about how much the mill is paying for these logs per load, and is it worth it for us to keep doing this. It's going to take a few days before they send us a check, so we won't get paid until next week or the week after. All right, guys, this is our first load. Just 3 logs is probably not even a ton. So this is our load. We'll run it on down there and see what they have to say about it. So my number one objective with this first load was to not kill anybody. And thankfully we did that. That's why I only took just a couple logs on the first load. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to push anything to its limits. I wanted to make sure I had the process understood fully before we really start carrying some real weight down the road. Additionally, I knew there was going to be a lot of paperwork I was going to have to fill out, a lot of process I was going to have to learn on the fly, so I really didn't want to stress about having the maximum number of logs as I possibly could. Now, in hindsight, I definitely could have carried more, but ultimately, I was able to get in here, understand the process, understand what changes I need to make on my side to make the process easier for the guys to unload, and ultimately make this a streamlined process that I can do all the time. Because as you can probably tell, we have a lot of trees to get off the property. All right, so doing a few modifications to this trailer so that we can carry a bit more load than what we did last time. Last time we had only 3 logs. Came back weighing about 1,600 pounds. Just looking at tow capacities and everything I feel comfortable with, I think we can probably fit somewhere around 12 to 15 logs per load. So we had a couple things we had to do. First, we got these wooden bunks off, and I was able to pick up some of these, I guess they call them standards, to support the logs from rolling off. This will also end up making it a lot easier for them to unload. Last time they had to come get the claw and pick them up. Now, as long as they don't hit my tires, they should be able to slip in here and pick these logs up with their front loader. Our mill is pretty flexible with the size of logs you'll take. They'll take anything where the small side is bigger than 8 inches. The length doesn't really matter as long as it's on some 2-foot intervals. So it's either has to be 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 foot, and then you add a couple extra 4 to 6 inches for waste. So these logs, since I have a 10-foot trailer, I'm cutting them at 12 foot, so they're about 12 foot 4. If you followed this channel for any time at all, you'll know that logging was not part of the original plan. In fact, when we started here, we had no plan at all. We just knew we wanted to do as much of this work as we could by ourselves. And to be honest, we really probably in hindsight should have hired some of this stuff out, but we've already gotten into it, and at this point, I can't foresee myself paying $3,000 to $5,000 an acre for somebody to clear this land when we're so close to having our building site ready to go for the barn that we're going to start on in a couple months. Alright guys, so let's talk about the numbers here, because I know that's what you guys are probably most interested in. So on that first load of logs, there was only 3 logs, and it was 1,600 pounds. That's 0.8 tons. And at that time they were paying $30 a ton. So it came out to be right at $24. Now this load right here that you're seeing me load up, we ended up getting 8 logs on. That came out to be 4,800 pounds, which, to be honest, with the road conditions on the property, is probably the maximum that we're gonna do anytime soon. So this 2.5 ton load came out to be $84.35. So if you put all that together, that's about $100, and we're averaging about $9 a log. Now, is that great money? No, definitely not. However, I would absolutely rather get $9 a log than let this stuff just rot and try and burn it. It's taken forever to burn this large stuff. It is a huge waste of my time to sit here and babysit fires all the time. So $9 a log is a pretty good deal to get it out of the way and on down the road. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me if you think there's a better thing that we can be doing with these logs. Ultimately, one day we would like to get a mill and mill some of these ourselves. But in the short term, this is the best thing that we can come up with. So could you say we're a full-time logging operation now? Maybe. Some people do. But they probably shouldn't. But I do think we're going to keep on it. I think this is the best thing that we have to get the logs off the property and a little bit of income coming back to us.